The CIA has officially discovered the Ark of the Covenant.
Supposed discovery of the Ark of the Covenant may have piqued your interest.
The CIA didn't find the Ark of the Covenant. They discovered something much worse.
That one to me is just like, we know where it is.
Where God used his own fingertips in order to write down the 10 commandments, and he handed it over to Moses. The latest discovery has just fascinated the entire world. And finally, it seems like government has officially found the Ark of the Covenant. Since December 5th, 1988, that's exactly when they apparently seem to have found the original Ark of the Covenant, where God's 10 commandments are placed in there according to the Bible. And just a couple weeks ago, CIA has officially revealed the secret classified project that they've been working on for all these years. You can go ahead and take a look at it. It's called the Project SUNSTREAK. You can Google it up and you'll actually find the entire information in the CIA's official website. And in this document, they've actually mentioned that the government has already seen the original Ark of the Covenant. And they've also mentioned that this artifact is actually being guarded by some sort of a being that is not of this world. Now, obviously, we Christians know that these beings that the documentary has already been stating are known as the guardian angels, who are supposed to be protecting the gates of Garden of Eden. Now, if you read in Genesis, you'll actually know that God closed off Garden of Eden after the apple sin took place with Adam and Eve, and he decided that mankind will never step back into the Garden of Eden again. And that's exactly what the CIA documents have now officially proven. And the things that has been shared in this document is absolutely mind-blowing. Now, this is what the official CIA document has been revealing about all the information that we know regarding the Ark of the Covenant. Now, as you can see, they've codenamed it as Project SUNSTREAK, and they found this information on December 5th, 1988. And according to the files, there are some very fascinating things that they have to share here. The first thing that the official government of CIA have confirmed is that the target is said to be some sort of a container, and this container has another container inside of it, and this target is fashioned of wood, gold, and silver. Now, the target is similar to the shape of a coffin, and it's also decorated with seraphim, which are like the two angels as described in the Bible, with both the wings pointing against each other. And that's basically how the Ark of the Covenant looks like. And thankfully, they also mentioned its location, but they haven't really declassified the exact location of where they actually found it. And for whatever reasons that might be, most probably they're trying to keep it away from general public. But as far as what they've mentioned, it seems like the Ark of the Covenant is located somewhere in the Middle East. And what's actually interesting about this whole discovery is that they use this technology called as Psyche remote control technology, which is also another declassified CIA project that they've been working on for many years, which is called as the Project Stargate. You can, of course, go ahead and check out that project as well, where it seems like they have been using some sort of a technology in order to use people's consciousness, which is basically our own soul, to basically have some sort of an outer body experience where you can travel outside of your body to any part of the locations in the world as you wish. You can actually leave your body and you can travel through time, and you can see things that you usually cannot do as a human being. So this apparently was some sort of a project that the CIA has been working on for many years, and it seems like they've already done that successfully as well. And what's interesting is that I came across this recent video where Jason, the host of Pyramid Code, actually explains the entire thing, where the CIA has been using the Stargate project where you can experience this outer body experiences and all that stuff, and they can travel outside of the human body, and they can basically see realms and time travel and see all kinds of different spiritual worlds that we usually cannot see as we are inside of our human body. So these were some of the things that the CIA has been working on, and apparently they already did it with 30 different people, and that's what's explained by Jason here.
This in 1988, and I want to read something real quick from their actual declassified documents from December 5th, 1988. It was a session by, they don't give us the name, but it's called Remote Viewer Number 32, which means they used over 30 people in this experiment to do it.
That's
this
what I was
specific
saying.
session lasted 90 minutes from 9:15 a.m. to 10:45 a.m. on December 5th, 1988. And it says the following: target is a container. The target is what they're looking for on the longitude and latitude line.
So target is basically the Ark of the Covenant. So they don't exactly want to specify the name because they were basically just documenting this stuff. They're trying to find out what it is. So before they found what they were actually looking for, they usually just called it as the target.
This container has another container inside of it. The target is fashioned of wood, gold, and silver. The target is similar in shape to a coffin and is decorated with seraphim, which are like these gold-looking statues. This target.
Now, in the Bible, it's very clearly and very specifically mentioned that the Ark of the Covenant is a sacred box in which Moses' 10 commandments are kept in there. And it's specifically made out of gold covered outside. And then in between, there's some sort of a wooden chest. And inside of that wooden chest, there's also another gold wall that's been created. And it's basically made in a very, very specific manner for whatever reason. Nobody knows why that is. And as you can see, the Ark was also made out of a particular wood called as the acacia wood and overlaid with pure gold both inside and out. Now, if you come back here and take a look at what the CIA documents have specified here, they've pretty much said the exact same thing, where there's this fashioned wood as well as gold and silver. And on top of it, there seems to be a seraphim. And these two angelic beings are basically what they refer to as the seraphims. And now let's get back to it.
The target is located somewhere in the Middle East, as the language spoken by individuals present seemed to be Arabic. Visuals of surrounding buildings indicated the presence of mosque domes. And I'm going to tell you right now that I know people are talking about, is it in Ethiopia? Because there's a lot of, Arabic speaking people over there. No, it's under the Dome of the Rock. And I'll tell you how we know that in a second.
Now, there's, of course, a very good reason as to why the Ark of the Covenant is said to be under the Dome of the Rock. And that's because of one of the discoveries by a guy named Ron Viat, who's also the same guy who discovered the location of Noah's Ark, which is apparently resting on top of this mountain. And archaeologists have already been researching and sending him some sound radiation signals in order to find out that this is indeed the original Ark of Noah, which God specifically gave blueprint to Noah in order to build the entire Ark in a very, very specific way so that this Ark can help Noah and his family. And after the flood, the Ark actually rested on top of a mountain, but then we don't really know where the mountain is. But recently, Ron Viat actually found out where this mountain is, and he also discovered what seems to be looking like the Ark of Noah. And then after some research and archaeological evidence, we have now finally found out that this is indeed the original Noah's Ark that is currently resting. And obviously with more technology, most probably we'll dig it out and find out what's actually inside there and what kind of mysteries or new historical evidence and knowledge that we will basically find out. But as of now, getting back to the Ark of the Covenant, Ron Viat was also the same person who got permission from Israel down into the Dome of Rock, which is exactly the mountain in which Jesus Christ was crucified. And it seems like when there was a massive earthquake that occurred right after the crucifixion of Jesus Christ, the mountain basically split into two halves, and the blood of Jesus was dripping down the cross, which just went all the way down through the cracks of the mountain after the earthquake, because the mountain just opened into two halves, was spilled on top of the Ark of the Covenant. And this was discovered by Ron Viat, and his own discovery team have also mentioned that there were these angelic beings that were guarding this box, which is very similar to the conclusion that the CIA documents have also been stating, that there's been some sort of extraterrestrial beings that are currently guarding this box for many thousands of years. And if you actually go back to the CIA documents, it mentions a lot of very fascinating things, where they said that the Ark of the Covenant is located where there seems to be mosque and domes, which is also the same place where you see in Jerusalem we have a mosque, and that is also very close to the place, to the Dome of the Rock, where Jesus was crucified. Now obviously they don't give us like the exact location for whatever reasons. It seems like they spotted a few individuals who seem to be clothed in a virtually all white color clothing, and they had black hairs and dark eyes, and one of them even said that these creatures, whatever they were definitely not humans, but then they kind of look like humans. They even had massive mustache on them, which makes us believe that these were some sort of a male beings, whatever is guarding the Ark of the Covenant. And they also mentioned very specifically that the Ark of the Covenant is hidden and it's underground, and it's placed in a very dark and wet area where all aspects of the location of the target has been completely classified. Now they also mentioned mentioned that when they visited this place, it seems like they also gathered some more information from the beings that were guarding it. And it seems like the purpose of the Ark of the Covenant is supposed to be serving in order to bring people together. It also mentions that it has something to do with ceremony, homage, and also the most important thing, the resurrection. Now, obviously, the resurrection means that Jesus was crucified and he was resurrected 3 days later. So there seems to be something very importantly connected to the Ark of the Covenant and resurrection. We don't exactly know what that is because the Bible doesn't really give us any specific information about the Ark of the Covenant, except the fact that it holds the 10 commandments that God himself wrote down to Moses on the tablet stones. And he said that there is some magical powers that will be present inside of the Ark of the Covenant. And the CIA documents also mention that there is an aspect of spirituality, information, lessons, and historical knowledge that's far beyond of what we humans even know right now. And the Ark of the Covenant is protected by entities which they have specified and can only be opened by those who are authorized to do so. Now, this container will not and cannot be opened until the time is deemed to be correct. Now, once it is time to open the container, the mechanics of the lock system, which will be found inside, is going to be fairly simple. And even if any of us humans finds it, and if we try to pry and strike and destroy and open the box, they also mentioned that these entities that are protecting it are going to destroy anyone that's going to try to harm the box. And they're going to do that through the use of power, which is unknown to us humans. Now, I know it all sounds extremely crazy like an Indiana Jones movie, but it seems like all of these things are actually real. And you know, all of these evidence that we're currently finding in the CIA documentations, and these are the things that the government has been hiding from us for all these years. And just now, after Donald Trump became the president, he passed this law where the government is not supposed to keep all of these information classified. They need to declassify it so that people should know about what we are working on, and nothing should be kept in secrecy and all that. So now that all these rules have been passed on, that's the only reason why we are even getting to know about this whole discovery that they've done in the year 1988. So we are living in 2025, and this was already discovered 40 years ago. And obviously, this seems to be relating so much to like the end time prophecies. There will be a lot of eye-opening events and, you know, proofs that people are going to be getting in order to reveal that God is indeed real and everything that the Bible says is indeed real. And people who haven't really known about the Bible or even taken these things seriously, I think it's finally time that there are scientific evidence and archaeological artifacts and proofs that we have finally found in this generation. And if you haven't read the Bible already, I think now is going to be the perfect time for you guys to go ahead, read it, and learn everything you possibly can, because there are some crazy information in that. And honestly, believe me, guys, it's one of the most fascinating books that you will ever come across, and everything in there is absolute truth. And once you start reading the Bible and go ahead and take a look at all the archaeological evidence and scientific research and everything that's been done and proven that everything in the Bible and the biblical events and the prophecies that are currently coming true, you will find out that everything that's mentioned in there is actually real, that Jesus Christ was real, and everything that's going to be happening and that's happening right now is also already prophesied. I would humbly request every single one of you guys to go ahead and share this video with as many people as you possibly can so that they can finally get to know the truth. And these things are like the information that most of the world has always stayed blind from. I think we definitely need to go ahead and share this. I would really honestly ask every single one of you guys to go ahead, share this video, and leave a comment, because this really helps the YouTube algorithm boost the video and recommend it to as many people as possible, because that's basically how the YouTube algorithm works. Now, with that being said, hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Till then, take it easy, fams, and goodbye.
If all the